Hey guys, Stellar here for another Elestrals video. Today we're going to be opening our Kickstarter booster box. Let's go. So today we got base set Founders Edition, Kickstarter Edition. This is the very first booster box you could get. First edition is the same as Kickstarter, just the symbol's going to be different and some of the holos. You guys can see that there's a little too much glare right now. But we're going to go ahead and get started. As always, when you open a booster box, you have a chance to get the box topper Stellar. This is Penterror, the full art. I believe only 5 have been pulled at this moment. So, always hoping to pull the next one. As you see, it is still completely sealed. That kind of got ripped open just now from me cutting it. And sadly, no Stellar for me today. But we still have 36 packs that we need to go through, so fingers crossed that we can actually go ahead and do some damage. We'll actually leave all the packs in here for now. We're going to go over the first few packs, and after that, anything that's more meta relevant, I will explain to you guys what they are and like how to use them. But other than that, once we're about halfway through, we will just go ahead and start ripping them open. Hopefully we can get a Stellar, a Kickstarter Stellar. So Zaptor, your Thunder Spirit. We got Ignector. Ignector's a good card. I haven't personally used it in a game yet. But basically when you normal cast it, you can special cast up to 2 more from your hand or your deck in attack position. If you do, you guys skip your battle phase. But the good thing is if you can play this turn 1, then the next turn you can definitely ascend. Doesn't matter what you're ascending into. There is another line for this. I believe it's Wasp Ivy. You don't have to play that card, but again, there's an alternative. Wormite, good card to have, lowers your opponent's attack by 4. Let's change that ever so slightly, guys. Tiflin, so this one is your opponent has to discard a random card from their hand when you play them. Smeltuga, good to have with a fire deck. It's one of the few cards that help other elements, but 5 of defense, first of all, really good to have, but when you play this card, you can search your deck for a 1-cost fire Elestral and add it to your hand. Veritaqua, very good ability. If it attacks a defense Elestral, the ability of that Elestral is suppressed, and the card is destroyed. Spinef, again, another 5 defense, really good to have on the field. The good thing about this card is that if your opponent destroys it, you can recast this as an artifact rune, and the Elestral that destroyed it actually gets a 0 base attack. Sakurasaur, you can spend an Earth to draw 2 cards. Barabog, 7 defense and Earth Water. When your opponent casts an Elestral or rune without Earth or Water, they have to expend an additional Spirit. And our rare for this one is going to be Imperial. 8 attack, 12 defense, 3 cost. This Imperial gets +1 attack for each Thunder Spirit in your Spirit deck. You can expend Thunder in order to target and destroy a card. Alright, Lycoris the Wind. Island of Aloia, this is going to be your Wind Stadium. For every Wind Spirit on your Elestral, they get +1 attack and defense. Drops of Lethe. This is a regular invoke rune, cost you 2. Reveal any number of cards from your hand, shuffle them into your deck, and then you're going to draw that many +1 card. Golden Apple of Discord. You're going to discard a card from your hand. Your opponent has to discard a random card, and then they send the top 2 cards of their deck to the underworld. Karen's Obel. Until the end phase, when the Elestral is destroyed in battle, you can draw a card. Helios Chariot Ride. This is a counter rune. Helios Chariot Ride can only be cast during the draw phase. Your opponent cannot cast runes this turn. Sakurasaur. Barabog. Titanostock. 4 defense. You can expend an Earth in order to force your opponent to reveal their hand until the end phase. So when Frostfall came out, this card actually has almost a secondary ability. If it's in your underworld, there's a card called Neandersloth that gets I believe it's 6 attack if this is in the graveyard. Mouse Station, that's going to be our rare, 6 defense. You can expend water to switch the attack and defense, and then on your opponent's turn, you can pretty much do the same thing when they normal cast an Elestral. Good thing about this is also if you misenchant it, which means adding another spirit. Me personally, I like to have Sonicore in my deck, which blocks counter runes and can't be chained when you cast it. So if you misenchant this with Thunder, it's going to have a defense of 6. Not much is going to beat that the first couple turns of the game, and then you can get your Sonic Core out. Alright guys, we got Vipyro, Rummagem. Good to have an Earth Beatdown deck or even a Fruit deck, but you summon this guy and you're allowed to search your deck for a 1-cost Earth and add it to your hand. Clovey, when it receives 1 or more Earth, you can draw a card. That also includes when you summon it to the field. When you normal cast it, because you're adding a Spirit to it, you can use that ability turn 1. Necruff, 5 attack. When it destroys an opponent's Celestial, they have to expend a Spirit. So good if you're going straight for the Spirit deck, trying to whittle that down. Also, just a 5 attack at a 1 cost, very good. Earth Scout, there's a family of bears in this set. There's 4 bears. This is one of them. When this Earth Scout is destroyed in battle, you can special cast a bear Celestial that costs 1 Spirit from your hand or deck. Then Earth Smog, number 2. You can expend fire in order to special cast a bear that costs 1 Spirit from your hand. Aramare the Wind. When you ascend this Aramare, you can cast it as an artifact rune, and the empowered Elestral cannot be destroyed by your opponent's Elestral effects. Where am I at? Oh, we did not have a win one yet, guys. Alright, Saracoon, 6 defense, 2 cost. You can, on your draw phase, you can expend a win to special ascend the Saracoon into Stratamonth from your hand or deck. Chrysor, 8 attacks, so very good to have. This Chrysor can attack your opponent's Spirit deck directly. So as a guy who grew up playing Yu-Gi-Oh, I love this ability that you can attack directly, and it being in 2 cost. Take 2 spirits out at a time, but if you can go ahead and add more spirits to it, nexus it, however you're going to get that strategy out. Keep attacking them directly. Secondary effect is when this Chrysor deals damage to your opponent, you can return up 2 wind spirits from your underworld to your spirit deck. So it's also got a recovery aspect as well. And our rare is going to be Equalinx. You can nexus up to 2 Earth. When you do, you can target and destroy a rune. Every element has a one card that has a Nexus ability, so this is going to be Earth. It organically has that Nexus ability. You don't have to use a Circle of the Sky or any other cards. Hope everyone's doing good today. Not necessarily a giveaway, but I am on my road to 500 subscribers. I recently got past the 100 mark, so that's going to be my next goal, is 500. And when we do, I also have a promo pack, Hydrake, we're going to open. The pack with it is a prototype pack, so we're going to go ahead and open that. And that Stellar Hydrake is actually, I'm going to give that away to one special subscriber. Got Terralis. Mount Olympus does the same thing as Islands of Aloia, except for with Thunder. Speaking of Island, drops Alethe, Golden Apple Discord, Sluggle. Good staple to have in a water deck. This is basically Ambrosia as a monster form. When you cast this Sluggle, you can return up to 3 water spirits from your underworld. Chrysor. Carrion. One thing I like about this is this can turn a tide pretty quick. Or say if you're about to win and they summon something strong. When Carrion gets destroyed by an Elestral, you take control of that Elestral for the rest of the turn. So you can use this as a sacrificial lamb on your turn to get the card that you need. Like if they have a super, if they say they got Penterror out, you can use this. Penterror destroys it, take control of it, and then attack your opponent for 3. Peliquarius is another element, or another card that helps a different element. This is wind. When you summon it, you can search your deck for a 1-cost water, so say Sluggle, and you can add it to your hand. Tectaurus is the rare for this one. For every Earth Spirit on the field, it gets +1 attack. So it's already at 3. Just summoning him alone brings him up to a 4, guys. And again, we're looking for Stellars. The one thing I like about what Elestrals does is some of the packs do show a Stellar. So this is your Stellar Amphiryx. I have actually got that already. Exaltair would be a nice one to have. That Mustation I showed you guys, that has a Stellar in the set. So we're hoping we're going to pull something today, guys. Lycanroc, Tadpuff. You can expend 1 water to special cast this Tadpuff from your hand in attack. An attack position with a water spirit. So again, if you already have a 2-cost water in your hand, you can get that out turn 1. Ampump, 3/3. It's a 1-cost. You can expend 1 thunder and discard this Ampump from your hand in order to search your deck for 2 more and add it to your hand. This would be good if you guys are running Lycanroc, which is the ascension of this. For every Ampump in the graveyard, it gets, I think, +2 attack. Elestrals, this is a staple if you're running Divine Runes. When you normal cast this, you can search your hand or your deck for a Divine Rune and add it to your hand. Quackle does the same thing as Sluggle, but with Thunder. When you cast it, you can add 3 Thunder Spirits from your Underworld back to your Spirit deck. Jolton, when you normal cast this Jolton, you can search your deck for Stadium Rune and add it to your hand. Titan of Stock. Blazerus, this is the Ascension of our Necruff. It's a 7 attack. It can attack twice during your battle phase. When it destroys 2 Elestrals on the same battle, you can special send it to Trifernal, which has a 14 attack. Waspire. So I got the other one mixed up with a Nectar. It wasn't Waspivy, it's Waspire. But it's got a 5 attack, 2 cost. You can disenchant 1 fire from an Enectar or from a Waspivy, and your opponent has to expend 2 spirits from the Spirit deck. Glidesdale is the Ascension of the Aeromare I showed you guys. You can expend a win in order to give this Glidesdale plus 5 attack, so it'll jump up to a 12. And then if it's empowered by Aeromare's ability, so if you send Aeromare into Glidesdale, use that secondary ability to equip it, it can attack twice per turn. So we're about 4 or 5 packs in. We still have not got our first holo. Each of these booster boxes usually has 12 to 13 pulls in them for the holo, so we're not quite there yet, but we also have a long way to go. You have your Zaptor, Atlantis, Mount Olympus, Islands of Aloia, Drops of Leafey, Golden Apple Discord, Javalantis. This is the Ascension of our Veritaqua. When it destroys a defense Elestral, your opponent has to expend 3 spirits. So again, doing that secondary damage to hurt your opponent. Zephyrog. So I showed you guys Tadpuff already. This is the Ascension Zephyrog. This is another card that can attack your opponent's Spirit deck directly. When your Zephyrog deals damage to your opponent, you can look at your opponent's hand and discard 1 card. So there is a combo you guys could do as well. There's a card called Tornado that sends the a rune on the field back to the hand. So say you send it back to their hand and it's a counter rune. Use this guy to attack directly. You'll see it's a counter rune and you can get rid of it so they can't use it. Galaxy. Awesome card to have. There's actually a deck built around this. Basically, he switches attack and defense of water enchanted Elestrals. So he's a 2/5. It'll switch to a 5/2. So awesome damage. But be careful, if you have multiple of these in your deck, you can't play them together because they counteract each other. All it says is it swaps the attack and defense. So if you do that twice, you're back to square one. Exaltair, this is the Wind Nexus card. 3 attack, and when you can Nexus up to 2 wind. When you do, your opponent must expend 2 spirits. I'm sorry guys, messed up on that one. Alright. Zaptor, Ampump, Elechick, Quackle, Jolton, Nimbug, 1 cost win. This is the baby form of that Saracoon I showed you guys. You can expend 1 win or special cast this Nimbug into Saracoon from your hand or deck. So, again, turn 1, you summon this guy, special ascend, have Saracoon in defense, and then your second turn, you're bringing out a 9 attack and Stratomoth. Cinder, fire, 1 cost with 3 attack. When this Cinder receives 1 or more fire spirits, your opponent must send the top 3 cards of their deck to the Underworld. So if you're running on a type of mill deck, that'll attack your opponent's. You'll attack your opponent's deck directly. Have a Nexus on the field. Have your Kinleo, I believe the card is called. But every single turn, you can use this ability and knock 3 off the top of their deck. Globby. This is the Ascension form of our Sluggle. It is a 2 cost, 4 attack, 8 defense. During your main phase, you can special send this Globby into Majesty from your hand or deck if it has 3 enchanted spirits. So again, you have 2 on there already. If you're able to Nexus a 3rd spirit, the next turn you can special ascend. Hammer Hephaestus, this is one of our artifact runes. The Empowered Elestral gets +1 attack as for each enchanted rune on the field. So again, if you have this card in, say, Volcanic Forge, they'll get +2. As long as Hephaestus, the Divine Rune, is enchanted, the Empowered Elestral cannot be targeted by your opponent's Elestral effects. And another Imperial. And here's another pack that shows, this is Sonicore, but this is the Stellar Sonicore. Alright, we got Tyratelus, Nimbug, P-Gust, 1 cost wind. When this receives one or more wind, you can target and destroy a rune. So again, that includes the turn you summon it. Sorlet, a wind, 5 attack, 1 defense. The Chrysor I showed you guys, this is the baby form. You can expend a wind to change the defense position of Elestral unless it is wind. Folio Forest powers up your Earth. Atlantis. Tsunami, great counter rune to have. This is one of those cards that they call a staple. It is one of the 3 counter runes that everyone has in their deck, along with Poison Tipped Arrow and Gorgon's Gaze. Basically, unless they're chained with wind, everyone goes in defense position. So again, they have a whole front line, and you're not going to get past that, and they go attack, or you only have 1 card in the field. You can play this, and it'll save you a turn. Or use this as a combo if they have a strong card out on your. This has to be face down for a full turn, but on your turn you can play this, change it to defense position, and attack it. Thunderbolt of Zeus. The empowered Elestral gets +2 attack, and then when it destroys an opponent. Let me read that right, guys. I'm sorry. Destroys an opponent's Elestral. Your opponent must expend 1. If the Divine Rune Zeus is on the field, they expend it 2. Thunderstorm cost you 2. You're going to target and destroy a rune, and then Lodagon, this is going to be one of the main cards you use in a fruit deck. If you play Ambrosia or Golden Apple Discord, you can target and destroy a card. That is not limited to once a turn, guys. Alright, another Terratlus. We got our Jolton, our Nimbug, P-Gust, Sorlet, Folio Forest, Cinder, Globby, Foamy. When this Foamy is destroyed in battle, you can special cast a 1-cost water into defense position. So again, if you have a, say, Smoltuga, it's got a 5 defense, and they have a 4. You know what I mean? This guy gets destroyed. Go ahead and bring that higher defense up just to protect yourself for that 1 extra turn. And here we are. Our first holo is Racerus, the Thunder. It's got 2 attack, 4 defense. And as long as this card is enchanted on the field, it has to have at least 1 Thunder Spirit. Whenever your opponent summons an Elestral, it can't attack the first turn unless it is Thunder enchanted. Always remember, like and subscribe if you're new. If you guys ever want to see certain Elestral content, please leave a comment down below, and I will do the best I can to facilitate and get a video out to you guys. So we got a Lycanus, got Drops of Lethe, Golden Apple of Discord, Karen's Obel, Helios Chariot Ride, Tiflin, Tsunami, Thunderbolt of Zeus, Earthquake, again, a staple most decks will have. They'll have at least 2, maybe 3 of these. Cost you 2 Earth, but you're going to target and destroy an Elestral. And Circle the Sky will be our next holo. This is a Nexus card. You Nexus 2, and if you do, you can draw 2 cards. Again, it does not have to be 2. You can only Nexus 1 if you want to. Alright, we got our Terratlus, Earth Scout, Earth Smog, and here's bear number 3, Earth Seer. 3 attack. This is the strongest of the 3. When this Earthseer destroys an Elestral in battle, you can special cast 1 Bear Elestral that cost 1 from your hand or deck. So if you see all 3 cards, they try to help each other. Try to getting them all out. Ignector, Wormite, Eruption. This is a 2-cost fire. Your opponent must expend 3 spirits when you play it. If they have a fire enchanted Elestral on the field, though, they only have to get rid of 1. Trident of Poseidon, this is going to give you a +2 attack, and the empowered Elestral cannot be targeted by counter runes, but it can be affected. So you have cards like Tsunami, which attacks the entire field. If they have a card like Poison Tipped Arrow or Gorgon's Gaze, which affects 1 card, targets 1 card, this will block it. And also, as long as Poseidon is enchanted, your opponent cannot even use counter runes. And speaking, we got Tsunami, Full Art Imperial. Beautiful design. Looks like he's about to take off. Awesome design, guys. Awesome design. So remember, when you guys are pulling packs, your booster box will always have 1 full art and 1 holo spirit. If you are going to get a stellar, it takes the place of the holo spirit. So when we see that, we'll know we're not getting a Stellar, or surprise, when we flip this over, we will get the Stellar. They fixed it in base set that it took the you're always going to have a spirit, a regular spirit, but in Kickstarter, your hollow spirit takes the place of this. So when we flip these over, if we do have the hollow spirit, it's going to show right away. Pyro, Volcanic Forge, Atlantis, Mount Olympus, Islands of Aloia, Drataya. This is another card for a fruit deck. When you cast Ambrosia, you get to draw 2 cards. And now with Frost Fallout, they actually, technically, you can have up to 6 Ambrosia in your decks because there's a new system called Title. So they actually have Ambrosia, and then there's Ambrosia Cornucopia. So you can use this ability 6 times if you have them out. Ivory. This is going to be the Ascension of your Tiflin. This Ivory gets +2 attack for every Tinflint in your Underworld. You can expend 1 water in order to special cast a Tinflint from your Underworld into attack position. Javalantis, Zephyrard, another Racers. Alright, we got Leviathan, Kraken. This is a 1 cost, 2 attack, 2 defense. When you cast this Kraken, you can target an opponent's Elestral. That Elestral cannot attack, and its effects are negated as long as this guy's on the field. Karen Zobel, Elichick, Quackle, Jolton, Hammer of Hephaestus, Eruption, Shrine of Poseidon, Exalter. Hope everyone's excited. Frostfall's been out for, how do I say it, a good month now, maybe about 3 weeks. Why don't you guys, if you get a moment, comment down below your favorite card that was released. Obviously, I'm going to go by my namesake, Stellar Kristoff. I love those reverse Stellar Bears. It is the first time they've done that. Obviously, we're in the second set, so hopefully into the future they keep doing that. Vipyro, Drataya, Rumagem, Clovey, Necruff, Scout, Shield of Achilles, another staple to have in your decks. This is a counter rune. It costs you 1. Basically, when your opponent declares an attack, you play this card. It's going to cost you 1 to play this card, but the secondary ability is you're going to have to expend additional spirits depending on the cost of that card. So again, if you have, say, your Imperials out and they attack you with an Imperial, since it's a 3 cost, this card's going to cost you 4 to play. So just be very careful, pay attention to how many spirits you have, and just be wary when you play this card. Scavengem, this is the Ascension of Rumagem. When you ascend into this Scavengem, you can expend 1 Earth in order to search your deck for up to 2 cards with enchantment 1 cost or 2 cost Earth and add them to your hand. Spy Nymph, Pandora's Box is going to be our next holo. This is a counter rune. When this Pandora's Box can only be cast when an opponent activates an effect that searches the deck or cast a card from their deck. Negate the effect, and your opponent must send the top 2 cards of their deck to the Underworld. So again, guys, we're getting to the halfway point. Still have not found our Hall of Spirit, so we shall see. Terratlas, Nimbug, P-Gust, Sorlet, Folio Forest, Volcanic Forge, Kinleal. This is the Fire Nexus, 3 attack, 1 defense. You can Nexus up to 2 fire. When you do, you can target and destroy an opponent's Elestral. Cinder, Gulabi, Follicane. This is P-Gust's Ascension. 7 attack, 3 defense. You can expend 1 win in order to destroy all runes, or you can expend 2 just to destroy your opponent's runes and kind of save yours for later. I believe the term is Win Toolbox. That's a good card to have for a Win Toolbox deck. I got Leviathan, Tadpuff, Ampump, Folio Forest, Volcanic Forge, Atlantis, Scavengem, Spy Nymph, Sacrosaur, Gatabolt. So in set 1, this actually came out as a holo, but 8 attacks, so a very strong card. You can target a Thunder Enchanting Elestral and give it +1 attack and defense for each Thunder Enchanting Elestral or Spirit onto this Gatabolt. So this guy costs you 2. It's going to power everybody else up by at least 2. And I just noticed this. I have 2 piles going for Earth. So we'll move Follicane up right there. Alright guys, let's keep on going. Alright, Vipyro, Jolton, Nimbug, P-Gust, Sorlet, Folio Forest, Chrysler, Carrion, Peliquarius, and Emfrix. So, nice good fire card. I'm sure you guys can tell, but it looks like a Phoenix. It is a Phoenix. When this Emfrix is destroyed in battle or by your opponent's card effect, you can expend 1 fire. If you do during this turn's end phase, you can special cast it. So again, they get something out strong, they knock this out, bring it back, you still got a card in the field. Or look forward into the game. If you have a 2 cost in your hand and you really want to get it out, you need to get it out, you can play this guy, keep it for 1 turn, you know you're going to have it next turn, and then summon whatever card you have in your hand. Alright, Terratlas, P-Gust, Sorlet, Folio Forest, Volcanic Forge, Atlantis, Barabard, Titanostalk, Blazerus, Circle the Sky. The second one we have pulled, guys. Circle the Sky, if you guys did not know, actually has 3 versions now. So with Frostfall's release, we now have 6 spirits. So they have 3 versions of that card. Each spirit is on its own card. Leviathan, Islands of Aloia, Drops Alethe, Golden Apple of Discord, Karen Zobel, Helios Chariot Ride, Scavengem, Spy Nymph, Sacrosaur, Exaltair. Exaltair as well is one of those cards that in the Founders Edition it is not hollow, but when you get your first edition, they did turn that one into a hollow. Zaptor, Nimbug, P-Gust, Sorlet, Folio Forest, Volcanic Forge, Spark It. This is the Thunder Nexus card, 4 attack. You can Nexus up to 2 Thunder. When you do, you can look at your opponent's hand and discard 1 card from it. Synetric, this is the second stage for Quackle and Imperial, 4 attack, 6 defense. You can reveal 12 Thunder Spirits from your Spirit deck in order to special ascend this Synetric into Imperial from your hand or deck. So we already went over Imperial's ability once, guys, but for every Thunder Spirit, it gets +1 attack. So again, you have 12. You go ahead and summon this guy. You're going to have a 20 attack right off the gate. Astrabbit, talk about staples. This is one of those staples cards. When this Astrabbit receives 1 more Thunder Spirit, so including the turn you summon it, pick the top 3 cards up of your deck. You're going to pick one that you want to keep. You're going to add it to your hand. You're going to reshuffle the other 2 into your deck. Because you're drawing, you do not need to show your opponent what card it was. If you have to search your deck, you do have to show your opponent, so that way they know that you're not cheating, basically. But again, a good staple to have, especially if you're running a Thunder Nexus, then you can keep using this ability over and over. And Ambrosia, the meaning of staple when it comes to your decks, guys. This is going to be your life points. If you played Yu-Gi-Oh!, this is going to be, I think the card is Dienketo, or your red medicine. It's going to cost you 1, but you pull 3 spirits of any type from your spirit deck into your from your underworld to your spirit deck. One thing I want to show you guys in the back of the card as well is they have their total of 8 spirits. So right now we are at 6 with Frostfall. Daybreak comes out next, which will show the next element. And then we have 1 more to end the year. So I would say when the 4th set released, you will have your Circle the Sky V4. Terratlas, Drops Alethe, Golden Apple Discord, Karen Zobel, Helios Chariot Ride, Jolton, Thunderbolt of Zeus, Thunderstorm, Bag of Winds. This is going to be your equipment from Wind. It powers up Elestral's defense by 2, and they cannot be targeted by your opponent's runes. Doesn't matter what kind of rune it is. When Aeolus, the Divine Rune, is enchanted, the Empowering Elestral destroys an Elestral in battle, you can target and destroy a rune. So one way to use this card would be with your Galaxy, your water element. It switches attack and defense. So with a 5 defense, add 2, make it 7, flips it to a 7 attack. And then we got our Cracking This is your 2 cost. This is Crack Kid's Ascension, 8 defense, so really good to have on the field, really strong. When you cast this Kraken, you're going to pick 2 of the unoccupied slots for your opponent's Elestrals, and they can't use those slots as long as this guy is enchanted. So if you're able to get 2 of these out and they have nothing on the field, you're pretty much owning the game at that point. Unless they're going to pull Earthquake or a card that's or Poison-Tipped Arrow, like when you summon it, you're going to own the rest of that game, guys. They won't be able to play Elestrals. There's nothing they're going to be able to do. Alright, guys. Vipyro, Sorlet, Folio Forest, Volcanic Forge, Atlantis, Mount Olympus. Will we pull the last stadium? Nope. Tornado. So this one, you're going to target a rune on your opponent's side and add it to the hand. So again, I talked about Zephyrog in this. Play this, send the rune back, play Zephyrog, say it is a counter rune. You can go ahead and destroy it that turn. Necklace of Harmonia. This is going to cost you 2. The Empowered Elestral gets +5 attack. So you really turn that game around quick. But during the end phase, whoever controls this, the Empowered Elestral must expend 2 spirits. Otherwise, you're going to destroy this necklace. So all honestly, for me, when I've played this card, I'm only using it for 1 turn. Shield of Achilles, Foul Cane. Alright, Teratlus, Tritaya, Rummagem, Clovey, Nekruff, Earth Scout, Kinleo, Cinder, Galati, Leonite. That's going to be our rare. This is Kinleo's Ascension. 7 attack. As long as this Leonite is in an attack position, players cannot cast Invoke Runes. So you might think that's good because your opponent can't play cards like Earthquake against you, or they can't play their Ambrosia. But remember, guys, you can't do that either. So again, play this but sparingly. You can still play your counter runes. So if you still have a combo you want to use, you can do that. But just be careful with Leonite. And first edition, that actually comes out as a Stellar. It's actually pink flames instead of the red flames. Vipyro, Earth Scout, Earth Smog, Earth Seer. You can see the bears like to stay together. Ignector, Wormite, Waspire, Kinleo, Cinder, Stratamoth. So Stratamoth is your 3 cost, 9 attack, 5 defense. This is Nimbug and Saracoon's Final Ascension. It gets +1 attack for each Nimbug and Saracoon on your field and in your underworld. You can expend 1 win in order to return each of your opponent's runes to their hand. So again, if you're trying to end the game quick, power them up, clear the field, and go on the attack. Vipyro, Atlantis, Mount Olympus, Islands of Alodia, Drops of Lethe, Golden Apple Discord, our Foamy, Ivory, Javalantis, Exaltair. So I'm pretty sure we pulled about 4 Exaltair. That's changed in future sets. Clumping is the term they like to use, but usually when it comes to the rares and the hollows, you won't get more than 3 of each. And then you'll guarantee to get other stuff. So Zaptor, Ignector, Wormite, Volcanic Forge, Atlantis, Mount Olympus, Peliquarius, Scavengem, Spinette, sorry guys, and Krakatuga. This is Smeltuga's Ascension. 4 attack, 9 defense, water, and fire. You can expend 2 fire to force your opponent to expend 3 spirit. So basically, Eruption. It's the same ability as Eruption. The additional, though, when you cast a Eruption while you have Krakatuga on the field, you can target and destroy a card. So again, you want to clearing the field, or say they have a Penterror out or a Centaur, you can use this ability with your Eruption. You're going to deal damage to your opponent, and then you're also going to be able to knock out those cards. Getting down to the end of the pack, guys. We're getting pretty close. Still no word. Still, we don't know what we're going to get. We did pull our full art. Keeping our fingers crossed that we can pull that Stellar. Lycris, Karen Zobel, Helios Chariot Ride, Drataya, Quackle, that's in the wrong pile. Got our Jolton, Cinder, Globby, Foamy, Caprigal. This is Foamy's Ascension. 7 attack, 4 defense. When this Carboard destroys an Elestral in battle, you can special cast an Elestral with 1 cost water from your underworld to defense position. So again, use this guy, destroy your opponent, start stacking your field up. And remember, if you have a counter rune and you want to pull a 1 cost water that can deal some serious damage, go ahead and do that. You know, you could use it, for instance, for your Kraken. That way you can suppress a card. 5 Pyro, Scout, Smog, and Seer, Ignector, Wormite, Spy Nymph, Sacrosaur, Titanostock, Falcane. Also, go ahead. I know I said comment down below your favorite Frostfall card. Why don't you guys go ahead and tell me your favorite Shattered Stars card as well. Month 5 just released for Shattered Stars is the Earth. That Stained Glass Viscerus is something else. Awesome design. And then the Demeter. Those marble cards are just awesome in general, but Demeter's probably my favorite one so far. We'll see what the one looks like for Hephaestus. I'm going to say it's probably going to be in a volcano or near a volcano. Personally, can't wait to see that, guys. Fire is one of my favorite, and then you will get the Gorgon's Gaze as one of the hollows. So that is one of the top 2-3 cards you guys will always have in your decks. Leviathan, Karen's Obel, Helios Chariot Ride, Tritaya, got Rama Gem, Clovey, Hammer of Hephaestus, Eruption, Trident of Poseidon, another Litigon. Alright. Vipyro, Sluggle, Tiflin, Smoltuga, mess over here, Veritaqua, Jolton, Sparkit, Symmetric, Astrabbit, Fluarachne. This is Wormite's Ascension. Ironically, we have it right here. As long as Fluarachne is enchanted, Elestrals cannot attack the turn they are cast unless they are fire enchanted. So it does the same thing as a Rhinoceros, but towards fire. The main difference is it's got double the defense. So you got double the defense along with your Wormite, who's going to lower 4 attack from your opponent. So between the two of these guys, anything that comes out, you should be able to knock it out, and they won't be able to attack the turn they play it. Alright, and Stellar. Nope. Leviathan, Wormite, Kraken, Sluggle, Tiflin, Smoltuga, Kinleo, Cinder, Globby, Krakatuga. Looks like we only got about 4 packs left, guys, so definitely getting down to the wire. Usually we would have pulled the Spirit by now, so I'm wondering if it's going to be the last pack. Zafter, Necruff, Scout, Smog, Seer, Ignector, Earthquake. You got Lycavolt. So again, we talked about Am Pump earlier. You can discard Am Pump with a Spirit to draw 2 more. This one gets +2 attack for each Am Pump in your underworld. When this Lycavolt destroys an opponent's Elestral in battle, you can look at your opponent's hand and discard it on 1 card. Griffuse, a 5 attack. It's Thunder and Wind. Volt Tempest is going to be the Ascension of this one. I actually have a Volt Tempest right here so you guys can see them. But when you can Nexus 1 Thunder or Wind from a Divine Rune. So Elechick is the baby form. So Elechick lets you get your Divine Rune, bring this out next turn, and now you can take away from that. When you do, you can special send this Griffuse into Volt Tempest from your hand or deck. So literally the turn you play this, if you have your Divine Rune out, if you're following the Ascension line, you can get a 13 attack out your second turn. And Tectaurus. Alright guys, why don't you all, when you get a second, hit that like button. We're coming down. We got 3 more packs left. We have 3 more packs left to go until we're done. So let's see if we're going to pull our... Oh, no Stellar today, guys. But we did get Hollow Terratlas. Beautiful card. So sadly, we will not be getting a Stellar in this box. Tadpuff, Am Pump, Elechick, Quackle, Jolton, Titanostock, Blazerus, Waspire, sorry guys, and Inklings. So 3 packs, but we can still go ahead and get a holo. Me personally, I would love to pull Ultra Stars. It is a Nexus card. It's a counter rune, and basically you can Nexus 1, change an opponent's Elestral to defense. Lycanroc, Tiflin, Smoltuga, Veritaqua, Tadpuff, and Pump, Foamy, Saracoon, Bag of Winds, Exaltair. If you guys are seeing me struggle with these cards right here, I actually have the top of my desk is right here, and it's where my computer is. So I just got to be careful that I'm not hitting anything as I'm playing the cards. All right, we got a Lycanroc, Quackle, Volcanic Forge, Veritaqua, Tadpuff. We got Ampump, Bag of Winds, Tornado, Necklace of Harmonia, Equal Links. So I'd say right now, of all the cards I've pulled in this booster box, I think the main deck I would go toward would be a fruit deck. Sadly, I've only pulled one Ambrosia, but the Equal Links will help, so I can Nexus. I can Nexus Earth cards to destroy cards, and then I also did pull multiple Golden Apples at Discord, so I would be able to use Ludegon's ability up to 4 times. Terratlas, Elichick, Quackle, Romagem, Clovey, Necrof, Necklace of Harmonia, Shield of Achilles, Scavengem, Glidesdale is the final rare for this pack. So we'll go over these cards real quick, guys. We got our Holo Stratamoth. Let's zoom in for you guys to really take a look at it. We got our Holo Stratamoth, Leonite, Crack King, Ambrosia, Ampharex, Ricerus. Oh, we got mixed up. We got two Circle the Sky, and there's our second Ricerus. Pandora's Box, our full art. So in base set, Kickstarter and first edition, these spirits actually have a alternate art. So usually in the community they're called these alt art hollows or alt art spirits, whatever. Going forward for Frostfall, it is the same design. Each new set, do not quote me because obviously we're only 2 sets in, but they have a different art for each spirit. So this is going to be your hollow Terratlas, and then we got our full art Imperial. That's all I got for you guys today. Remember, subscribe to my channel, like and comment down below. My name is Stellar Christoph, and I hope you guys all have a stellar day. See ya.